Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. It's an FA Cup weekend. It gives us the opportunity to take a little trip around Europe. We'll do a couple games in the FA Cup that we'll talk about. We'll talk about some huge games in Italy, including potentially a title decider when Inter takes on Napoli. And oh yeah, there's an El Clasico being played in some country in the Middle East. Excuse me for forgetting about it because it's the Super Cup. So it's a lot of Super Cup action this week. We just had Marseille and PSG go to penalties this afternoon. I'm Andrew Passaro. He's Nick Dianni. Nick, oh please tell me you didn't have Marseille in that game. Please tell
No,
me
I,
you
I
didn't.
really very strongly considered taking them on the spread, but I just don't want to see PSG win anything. So I was a little bummed
Yeah,
that Marseille blew it in
yeah.
the quite literally the last second of the game.
Gonzalo Ramos. I mean, I
Yeah,
I don't think that guy's that great of a striker, but you put him on the pitch the last 10 minutes of the game for PSG when they're down a goal and somehow he's going to score.
yeah,
I
they figure it
can't
out.
explain it, but it is what it is. All right, we have 5 games. We have 3 games in Italy. We are going to start with Newcastle and Bournemouth, though. There's a couple Premier League teams that are playing each other in the FA Cup. I will be talking about Spurs and Aston Villa over on the Patreon. So if you want picks for that, go sign up for patreon.com/the Plus Money Pod. You get a free 7-day trial when you sign up. And it's $5 a month on top of that. So you just get some extra picks every single week, less than a cup of coffee a month, 4 extra episodes for a week, for a month. But Newcastle are taking on Bournemouth. Newcastle got into maybe the Premier League game of the season with Leeds in the middle of the week. Bournemouth, equally comparable potential Premier League game of the season. As they got into a shootout with Tottenham, they got a win. Semenyo sounds like he's played his last game for
Uh,
for Bournemouth. I don't know how he was playing that. If they're going to sell
thank
him
you.
for 65 million, that seems like financially irresponsible. But they end their losing streak. Newcastle. I'm expecting craziness from this game. I don't know
Yeah,
what lineups are going to look like. Both teams to score an over 2.5 is -115. That's hitting 4 straight for Bournemouth. Newcastle, it's 3 of 5. I don't mind either. Just going over 3.5 and swinging big here.
yeah,
I think these are two teams that would like to have a cup run and could get crazy. Over 3.5 is hitting the last 2 Bournemouth trips to the Northeast when they've played Newcastle, even though it's the longest flight in the Premier League. That's plus 168. So give me goals.
yeah. I agree. Listen, we don't know what lineups are going to look like, so I would say proceed with caution. Obviously, wait as long as you can. But I'm looking at Newcastle over 15 and a half total shots at -110. I think they've been firing lately. I think whoever's on the pitch is going to want to make a good effort. I'm with you with goals, but if we're trotting out two complete B squad lineups, just maybe proceed with caution.
I love shots. I'm a
I
shots
channeled
person.
my inner you.
Yeah, yeah. I do I forgot where I was going to go with this. So let's move on. Roma are going to take on Sassuolo on Saturday in Serie A. Decent little game. Sassuolo got rocked in the middle of the week against Juventus. But there's some good pieces on this Sassuolo team. Their keeper ranks second in Serie A for saves per match. So look out for that with 3.9. I like Roma and under 3.5 at plus 105. Roma just grind out these games. It's hitting
Interesting.
8 of their last 10 wins. I, I'll just give me that. I think they get the win there.
Yeah, wow, that is ridiculously interesting, and you're gonna make me second guess my pick when you say things like that. But yeah. I had it in my head that Roma were scoring more than they are. And
They
you
are
know what?
not.
They're
It,
really no, I mean, I know they weren't, but I just thought on this little streak of theirs, and I say streak, and they lost 2 weeks ago, so that's not even true.
I didn't even go last 10 games. I just picked their last 10 wins. Only 2 of those games have gone over 3.5, and most of them being because they gave up like a late garbage time like goal to the other
Yeah.
team. Like that happened to me a couple weeks ago against Cremonese, or it was like a month ago when Cremonese scored in like the last kick of the game, and I think it was once in Europa League. But
Now I'm really second guessing my pick here, and I'm digging deep now, right? I'm looking back at Sassuolo form, and it's a weird team. They play in high scoring games against other bad competition, but they are really, really weird against good teams. They beat Atalanta when Atalanta were on a terrible run. They beat Fiorentina when they were winless. They drew Milan with 2 goals. They drew Bologna, kind of the start of Bologna's downfall, and then this 3-0 game to Juve. I had over 2.5 in this one at -105. I just in my mind had Roma as scoring more goals, and I forgot they got shut out by Atalanta. So I don't know. I reserve the right to tweet a new pick in this game. That's all I'll say.
I'll allow it because I don't even have lines for the final game of the card that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
today. Um, moving on, Fiorentina are taking on Milan. Important game for both sides.
Yeah.
Very important game. Fiorentina had a win on the cards and then gave up a very dumb penalty at the last second against Lazio, and they need every point they can get. Milan also
Brutal today. Like a
brutal.
four XG performance. Goals disallowed. Barely got a equalizer.
But yeah, Pulisic scoring. It was deemed it was off his arm. Then they had a late penalty shout. I frankly, it could have been a penalty for me. And then they
I
give
think
up a
so.
penalty on the other end, and Genoa put it over the crossbar. If you were still riding with that over 2.5 goals in Genoa games for me, that is an all-time bad beat.
Yeah.
All-time bad beat. I wasn't on that today, but um, I will say I don't mind over 2.5 goals in this game at -102. It's hitting the last four head to head between these two. Three of
I like it.
three, like I said, it was 3 of 5 for Milan going into this game with Genoa.
Yeah.
Fiorentina, it is, they got to go for it now.
Yeah.
Um, Milan
Eh,
money line's +110, which isn't bad either.
yeah. The crazy thing about Fiorentina is how historically bad they've been, but they're like 3 points out of safety. So like I'm realistically not worried about Fiorentina. They're still better than many teams in this league. They'll figure it out. Milan is missing a golden opportunity. Like they could have been in first place after this
Yeah,
weekend had they taken care of Genoa and if they were to win this upcoming game. You had to figure coming in that's a pretty good look at 6 points. So I do like them on the money line in this one. +110. It just doesn't make sense with how bad Fiorentina's been. Milan have been scoring. Obviously, it didn't happen for them today, but their expected goals output, which you could decide how much stock you put into that. But if you watch the game, I mean, Milan had chance after chance after chance. I think they had something like 24 shots. So Leao's been playing much better. Pulisic is back. He's healthy. Now's the time. I think +110 is too good to pass up.
yeah, I fully agree. And they're gonna need like they have to circle this game because of what else is happening this weekend in Italian football. We're
Yep.
gonna watch Inter take on Napoli Sunday afternoon, biggest game on the slate. Frankly, it's the second biggest game of the day in in football on Sunday for me. The only reason something's bigger is because you have Real Madrid, Barcelona playing in the Spanish Super Cup. Um, but Inter Napoli, Inter top of the table. Napoli kind of throwing up on all over themselves yet again. Drawing with Hellas Verona, down 2 goals, come back, almost get a winner. Had multiple goals taken away by VAR in that game. Um, I got to go both teams to score here.
Yep.
I got to go both teams to score at -110. It's hitting four straight head-to-head games. They had the 3-1 earlier in the season. We've just seen for me again. Every single time we talk about Inter on this podcast, they fail to step up in the big
Yep.
moments, and I think that Napoli will figure out some kind of magic. And before someone says in the comments, "Oh, Lautaro to score," he has not scored a goal against Napoli since 2021, and it was the fall of 2021.
He hasn't been good. If you've watched him, he just hasn't been up to par, hasn't been up to his standards, hasn't been where they need him to be. I have to give this Inter team credit first and foremost. I think this is a team that I expected to regress a little bit just due to the hiring of an unproven coach and the fact that they kept their squad together, which meant that their midfield, which was already old and overrun, has gotten older, and they put in so many shifts. It just didn't make sense to me. Here they are, top of the table. Here they are favored, -140 favorite, by the way. That line moved quite a bit from yesterday, but I think they're a deserved favorite. If they win this game, I'm ready to say it's their league to lose, especially after what Milan did today. I think, Juve is certainly not ready. If they beat Napoli head to head, I'm ready to call it. So big game, as you said. I like over 2.5, +105. I mean, I think you can go both teams to score. The numbers so similar. I really wouldn't be mad if you went with either, but I think this is a 2-1 game to whoever decides to win it.
I'm curious where the public is at on this game. If they're on, if they're on either of these teams. I tried to look it up. I don't have the data right now in front of me, but just a reminder. go sign up for Pickett. It's a great free app if you're if you're a regular gambler and you want to keep a track, especially that now we're into the New Year's and you're keeping resolutions. It's gonna sync to your sports books. It's gonna track all your stuff. It's gonna tell you when you had a good day, tell you when you had a bad day, tell me that I had a really good day on Wednesday, a really bad day on Thursday. And it's also you can follow your friends. You can get a ton of data on your trends and look at where you're losing money, winning money, and try to be a better gambler, which is it's really important and it's free. Sign up using promo code plus money. They're gonna give you $3 or $100 just for signing up. So go check out Pickett, support the podcast. Um, I hope that's a good game. Is my big thing with Inter and Napoli. Like we've seen quite a few of these like big games in Italy this season. Some have been great. Obviously, Inter Juve was fantastic once again. We saw Inter Napoli the last time around was really great. And I mean, I don't know. Hoyland's doing the thing for Napoli. We'll
Yeah.
see. I would say also be very careful with player props in this game because Inter have a ton of depth on the front line now. Esposito's been good.
Yep.
Bonnie's coming in and doing a
Yep.
shift. Um,
It's crazy. Like in the history of the Inter-Strike partnership, Lautaro and Thuram have never been on form at the same time, ever,
yeah,
not once, in like 3.5 years or whatever it's been.
yeah. All
But
right.
hey, you can get a Hakan shot on target for plus 145. Just
I
throwing that
lo-
out there.
we love that. We love that. We
He was
love
hot
that.
earlier in the year.
Speaking of strikers, how about that goal from Fede Valverde this afternoon as Real
Crushed.
Madrid took down Atletico Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup semifinals. Barcelona steamrolling Athletic Club, just decapitated them.
Well, they have a five
Um,
goal first half, 4 goal first half, something
I
like
think it was
that.
four in the first
Yeah.
half. And they didn't even play their best starting 11. Like Lamine was fully on the bench. Barcelona
At
are going to
least
take
two
on.
guys that I've never heard of every time I look at a lineup.
I will say one of the guys that you may or may not have heard of is that Rooney Bardage guy who they
Yeah.
got from Copenhagen on a
Yeah.
free. Um, he's good.
Casually had like 3 assists or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. He's good. Fermin Lopez is excellent. Ferran Torres is having a very quietly good year for Barcelona as they're kind of slowly moving away from Lewandowski. It's Barcelona and Real Madrid on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
It's going to be a great game. I'm very excited for it. I unfortunately don't have betting lines in front of me, so I can't give you numbers. But I will tell you a couple things that I do like. I still think look, I think Barcelona on their day are the best team in world football. I think they are very good. Pedri is
Plus
healthy
110.
to
Just
lift the
tell me
cup
what
or
they are.
money line
Yeah. Money
to
line.
lift the cup.
Oh yeah, just money line. I don't know what they are.
I would play that. I
Yep.
know I know Real Madrid got the best of them the last time. I think that was at the Bernabeu,
Yep.
and this is not in front of the home fans. The back line for Real Madrid to me, I don't think is something they could fix overnight. I also think Real Madrid are going to rush Kylian Mbappe. The news he didn't play in the first game. He was some kind of injury. He's apparently flying into Saudi Arabia to play or to Qatar wherever to play this final, which I don't
Silly.
think is the right move. I love Barcelona. I would look at Rafinha props, and the last thing I would say is look at if first half over 1.5 goals is -110 or better. I think it's a play because
Yeah.
Barcelona get off to
Rafinha
fast starts.
on one, no question. They're plus 110. Real's plus 240. The draw's plus 260, just for what it's worth. I agree with you. I remember when we spoke about this the last time they played, and we were both on Barca and we got burned. It was probably the best game Real played all year, but I don't care. I'm going to go back to Barca. I think they're in better form right now. Over 3.5 goals in the game is plus 140. I'm just throwing that out there. Barcelona team total over 1.5 is minus 130. I just think that's an automatic play. I think they could score 2 goals and not win. So, if you believe in Real or whatever, I just think there's goals in this game, but I think Barca scoring two, it's got to be the look and the form they're in right now.
Yeah, I might do a little team total over 1.5 parlay for Sunday with Barcelona and Hearts. I was looking at Hearts. They're taking on Dundee. They're like -160. Put it together with Barca, get something
You're
at
looking
like
at a
plus
little
two
plus
hundred.
200, yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Um, yeah, I do remember the thing that I would somehow went out of my mind. We were talking about Roma. You were talking about Bologna. Bologna are playing Como this weekend, and I that is an absolute no
Como
touch
money
for
line.
me. No, I can't do it. I'm not. No, I know that Bologna. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Bologna, or they'll be in 10th place by next month, the way they're going.
I know, but this is my thing with Como. I only take them against teams that I know that they are definitively better than because every team that is like on their level in Italy somehow beats them.
Let's see. I
All right.
hope so. Shit, I
Yeah.
really hope so. I'm not a Como truther, but let's see.
I
They're,
I've been
Bologna
I've
is
been
bad right now.
yeah, I want to like again use Pickett at the end of the season and find out which teams made me the most money, and somehow it's going to be Como and Hearts, and I like actually want to buy kits from the teams that I've won the
There,
most money on this
there
year.
you
That's
go.
like one of my resolutions for 2026 is buy more soccer kits. Also, um, if my fiance is watching slash listening to this, she isn't. I'm putting a fucking quad box in my office. That's what I want in 2026. All right, so those are our plays for or Super Spanish Super Cup. We're on Barcelona. Um, I will tweet out some more plays when I look at player props, whatever, as we get closer to it. Both teams to score parlay for the weekend. Newcastle, Bournemouth. We talked about that earlier. I love both teams to score there. Putting Spurs and Aston Villa in that. And my last one, the Bundesliga is back this weekend, and Freiburg are taking on Hamburg. Hamburg they're not in the relegation mix, but they have been scoring and giving up goals. I think both teams to score is hitting five straight for them. In Hamburg, it's four of their last five going into the break. So, and I think it's like a lot of their most recent head-to-head matchups between those two has gone both teams to score. That's plus 362 by last watch.
I like it.
So, yeah. I'll have some more stuff on Patreon. I'll probably try to find some goal scorers. I will say though, I am taking this weekend light because there's no Premier League, FA Cup, and
Okay.
there's stuff that I like, but there's not stuff that I'm in love with. Also, NFL playoffs are on, and I'm probably gonna like hammer the Texans plus 3, and there's college football playoff, and I'm probably gonna do something stupid like bet on Indiana. So I am taking the weekend light. I say that now. I'm gonna put in 25 soccer bets and watch ball all day on Sunday. So, um, if you want more picks, patreon.com/the plus money pod. Until next week, where middle of the week only has Carabao Cup. I think there's Coppa Italia.
Yo, shout out Carabao hanging around with that sponsorship.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, I think we've got Chelsea Arsenal in the middle of the week, so figure out which Chelsea player is going to get a red card and bet on that.
Easy.
Um, I think six different Chelsea players have gotten a red card this season. They are. I
If you
saw a
had
tweet.
if you had told me six, I would have taken the over.
I saw a tweet today that's like Chelsea are slowly building their best 11 of players that have got like a starting 11 of players that have gotten a red card because I don't think anyone's gotten multiple red cards. It's just
Love it.
guys that have gotten red cards in different positions. So yeah, we will have bets on that, but we will not have no double episode for us next week. We will just be back for the Premier League next weekend. So we'll see you in a week. Everyone have a great one. Best of luck. Good
Good
gambling.
luck.
See ya.